Hello everyone, welcome to this Fishy Zentangle series. Yeah, it's a new series where we will be working around the fish theme, and I have already posted the strings that I am going to be using these fish theme on my Instagram page as well as on my Facebook page, right? So you might want to draw and prepare your tile beforehand with these strings. So I'm going to show them to you again. Basically I've drawn them dark, but you need to draw it with a very light hand with your pencil. So this is the string that we are going to be working on today. This is another string, another arrangement, right? So fish, as I mentioned in my previous session, is a very common theme used in many of the Indian folk art forms, right? So I thought of using the theme for Zentangle, also create some beautiful Zentangle inspired art around these fishes, but use our Zentangle patterns and tangles to both fill in the fishes and tangle around it, right? So these are some of the strings that I've already posted, and you might want to draw them first, right? Because I'm just going to use these styles. So I will definitely show you how I'm basically drawing the fish, because I'm keeping it pretty simple just in terms of the basic strokes of Zentangle. Add one curve, add another curve, add a V shape here, join this V like this, join this V here, give a small V here, and the eyes and the fish. So fins you can either add like this or you can add like this. It is entirely up to you, right? So I'm going to keep it simple. I'll show you once again. One curve, second curve, a V here, give a slight curve to the V at the end, another V curve, and join these, a slight open mouth here, an orb, and again a C shape here, and the V shape again. Or you can, if there is lack of space, you can add something like this, right? So I'm going with this shape, and today I've already posted one teaser where we used the fishes beautifully. You can see the arrangement, very simple tangles used, punzo, knightsbridge, and some angel fish, but you can see what kind of drama it adds to your tile. Yeah, so let's get started. So today's style, we will start with a simpler string, this one, right? So basically this string idea came to me from the tangle anise, right? So in anise, these fishes are replaced by flux, right? And there is an inner space that you aura, you fill it with tipple, and then you add basically you first add the flux and then you fill it with tipple, right? So that was the idea behind this string. So in this we have replaced the flux with the fishes, right? So let us first ink our fishes. I have drawn them in exactly the same fashion that I showed, a minor difference here and there, that's it. So I am going to give a crinky line here because I am going to fill up the fishes inside with the tangle static. Yeah, a simple tangle. So we will keep it simple and we will go with Zentangle patterns mainly, right? So I'm going to just add a small fin here, right? And you can also add one above, right? So again the third one, again the fourth one, so you can see there's a slight difference in the shape here, this part, right? So it is going a little up, right? and the small little right. So I'm just keeping the fish shape simple so that it blends with our pattern well, right? Yeah, we are done with that. Now let us first aura the inside and then we'll move on to the fish also. So I'm just mimicking the shape that is created inside, doing nothing else, just going with the shape created inside, right? So go with the flow, just outline the inner space. Right, and inside, as I mentioned, you can either fill it up completely with tipple or you can add some moons first and then aura a few moons and then come down to tipple. Entirely up to you, yeah, the way you wish to. So I'll first add a few moons here and there, aura a few moons, and then right, so you can add one here. So wherever you feel like, you can add some moons, add few layers of auras, and then probably start adding the tipples as we have in the pattern Any's. Yeah, so I'm going to stop here as far as the moons are concerned. Now start auraing the moons one at a time, one to each. So thank you for all your appreciation and comments that you keep posting. I'm really humbled. I really appreciate your feedback. I feel inspired and encouraged to do better. Thank you for all your comments. Right, so I'm just adding some auras first. And once the auras start to connect, then probably we can add the tipple. Yeah. So you can see here the auras are now connected, added 2 or 3 more layers and they are now connected with each other. So they create an enclosure. And now we can go ahead and just fill up tipple either completely or leave some space, right? So I'm just going to add some tipple inside. So fish is a very nice motif. Even you can use it as a motif. Many of the henna mehendi designs also use fish themes to create beautiful designs. So even the peacock, it's a very common theme used. So I have seen lot of peacock in Zentangle inspired art which uses peacock and then filling up the peacock and its large feathers with tangles, but I haven't that often seen fishes being used, so I thought why not experiment. Yeah, so I'm going to leave a little space. Now I'm going to fill in 2 types of tangles. One is tag. We have already learned this tangle. In case you are new to it, I am drawing pretty slowly, so you can watch me closely or you can refer to my previous video. Yeah. So this is the grid in which we draw the pattern tag. It looks like fish scales and that's why I'm using it here. Yeah. So you can use any pattern of your choice. So tag in one, static in another. Static is just aura based. So I have drawn a zigzag line and I'm now just going to aura it. Yeah. You can also add something else in between these lines. So we'll see if we want to do that later. Right now I'm just going to aura the lines. So Zentangle is a perfect example of how lines can look beautiful, right? So again, the third one, I'm going to add tag. So this is the grid for the tangle tag. One layer, then the second layer, this point has to come in the center, about the center, right? And that is where you add those small little buds, right? Again, here, 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 right? So nice and simple pattern and looks nice inside fish. Again, going to go with static. So take your time and enjoy the process, because that is what is important in Zentangle. All that matters in Zentangle. The end result is always a treat to your own eyes. Yeah, and the last one. Yeah, so we are done with the inside tangling. Now another layer of aura, again mimicking the same outer shape, whatever shape has been formed by the fishes. I'm just going to aura it. Right, so now one aura is done. Now add some weights here and there, just like we do for the Tangle Diva dance, right? So I'm just going to round some corners, add some weight here and there. That's what I'm doing here. You can do that exercise while you are auraing also, right? So you can do both things together also. That's another way to go about it, doing it. So I have added one layer of humps here and there, and now I'm going to closely repeat the aura, right? So that's how we draw the pattern Diva dance. Another totally aura based tangle, again re-emphasizes the importance of auraing in Zentangle, what simple auras can create. Right, so again I'm going to do the exercise one more time. Wherever there are curves, depressions. I'm just adding some ink there, that's it, nothing else. So there's no hard and fast rule where, right? So you can just go by your instincts and wherever you feel like. Generally curves is where you can fill in some ink, right? So that's why we pick up the curves. Again, closely aura. Right, so we have added 2 levels. Now it is up to us what do we want to do with the rest of the tile. So there's so many patterns you can choose from. I'm going to add a rough string, just a zigzag, any kind of a string, right? So something like this, then coming down, then going up. Just zigzag, you can create it anyway. I'm not planning it here, right? So because I'm going to use this string for striping, right? So striping is another pattern which is generally started with a random string, and I'm just not thinking where what, and I've just drawn a random string with my pencil, right? And now I'm going to stripe it. Just one thing that you have to remember is stripe in different directions, right? So keep changing the direction. That's the only thing that you need to remember while striping. So you may not add a highlight. So let's see. Even without highlight, you can always use your chalk pencil, right? So this is a simple pattern. I would say very underrated because it has lot of potential, but generally because it has a lot of inking involved, people avoid it probably, but it has a lot of potential and it looks excellent on shading, right? So any pattern which looks very simple in Zentangle, I have seen generally it provides an excellent shading opportunity, right? So just stripe it. Just ensure that 2 consecutive sections don't have the stripes in same direction. That's the only thing that I'm going to be ensuring, right? And just I'm going to pick each section one by one and stripe it, or maybe in the midway if I feel like inserting some other patterns I can do that. So till now the idea is to stripe, right? So I'm taking cue from my string and added stripes to 2 sections, right? Now again I'm going to change the direction of my stripe and stripe in this direction. Yeah, so lot of inking involved here, so take your time and patiently deal with each section. Right, and then we have this section, so we can always yeah, continue like this, I think. Right, so I have again changed directions. Make sure 2 consecutive sections don't have the stripes in the same direction, because that is what will give you the shading opportunity. Wherever lines are changing directions, highlight that part. right? So that's just a glimpse of what we will be doing. Now I'm going to again, yeah, this is a different direction. So one more section I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to continue like this, probably leave one or two sections in between and insert something else in between the stripes to break the flow. Yeah, I think you got a broad idea. Right, so I'm now going to continue like this. So continuing with the process, I'm still inking my as you can see here, I am inking the stripes, and I thought of while drawing that these shapes would be exciting to fill up with paradox also. So that's one pattern we generally don't draw in these kind of shapes, right? Basically we stick to squares and triangles and more defined geometric shapes, but it would be really fun to place it in these wonky all kind of shapes. So let's try inserting paradox in between our stripes, right, and see how does it look like. It will look nice, I'm sure. So let me just finish with this part of striping, and then we insert one or two paradox here and there, and then we continue with our striping and finish the rest of the sections. Yeah. Yeah. So again this section we will go in some other direction, probably like this. Right, so this is one section that is created, probably this one, yeah, here. So let us try paradox here, again starting with the line and creating an angle as I approach towards the end. So rotate your tile if you're not comfortable with drawing lines in different directions. That's okay, perfectly fine and highly advisable to rotate your tile. And it is much easier to rotate when your hand or one or two fingers are under the tile. This is what I learned from Maria Thomas, one of the founders of the Zentangle method. She always places one or two fingers under the tile so that she can quickly rotate the tile. Yeah, so that's one section. Let us now use this section. I'm using the string only and finding some sections to put in my paradox to fit in the tangle paradox there. Again, same principle. Go slow, take your time. Draw each stroke deliberately, don't haste up. Yeah, so there's another shape here. I'm going to just ignore that one, go with the shape. Again come down like this, again start here, deviate a little at the end, start here, deviate a little at the end, right? So tangle paradox, inside a leafy shape, right? So this shape is just like a leaf, and we are adding curved line, straight line, a mix of lines to create the pattern paradox, right? So we have another section here, so let's use this section also for the tangle paradox. So this is small space, so I am not rotating the tile, but you may. Right, I think we can try inserting it here also. Let us see. So let us add one line like this, and then come back all the way, and then give a slight angle here, then an angle here, then again go back, give an angle there, here. So slightly tricky space for paradox, but irrespective of the space, we can draw it anywhere. Just that the fans may not be that prominent, depending on what space are we putting it in. Right, so I think we are done. Yeah, so paradox, probably one here. Yeah, so let's continue with our striping now. So we have stopped here. Yeah, now I'll start here like this in a different direction. Yeah, so striping is a great practice with your lines also. It will stabilize your hands as far as drawing lines is concerned, because it has all kind of lines, curved lines, straight lines, lot of lines drawn close to each other, and then inked alternative pairs. So good practice with line work. Yeah, again change the direction. So this all, I'm going to add lines like this, right? So I'm almost finishing with my striping now. I think there's only one more section left, and just ensuring that I leave a small highlight if the space is decently big, and keep changing the direction of the stripes depending on whatever direction the joining stripes are. So don't repeat that direction unless you want to show it as a continuation, right? So that's it. And now this section, probably we can again add paradox. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there is a hump here, so go with the flow. Yeah, and again 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have come down to 3 now. Yeah. So we are done with our striping and paradox, right? So let us now move on to shading. So I'm now going to add some graphite here. Yeah, and then here inside the aura, so it will automatically shade my moons also. So no need to add graphite on the blacks. Yeah, so now on the fishes it is up to us. We can always add on two sides and then highlight the center. That's a nice way to shade, or you can add like this as far as static is concerned. So you don't want to be adding too much, spaces are small, so just a touch. Yeah, and then comes our striping. So wherever the lines are changing direction, highlight there. Right, we'll come to the paradox later. Let us first add to striping everywhere. Right, so I'm just going with how the lines are changing direction and adding on two sides, because we generally have a highlight in the center, so naturally the ends will recede. Right, so don't add too much also, but just give importance to wherever the lines are changing their directions. Yeah, so I think we have added one layer, and let us start to blend now. Don't blend too much. Leave some space for highlights. Right, then to the next layer. I think we'll use a thinner stump. Where's my other stump? Yeah, this is a little thinner, so it will have a more focused spreading. Yeah, so we don't want to overdo and cover the entire crescent moon gray. So just take it easy and blend only that much as is required. Yeah, and then the inside. Yeah, and then coming on to our stripes. So start from one place. Now we can move on to the other one. Yeah. So I'm just blending the graphite, making sure that I don't cover up the highlight. I want some white section also to show prominently. Yeah, so just blend carefully, not turning the entire thing gray. So as I mentioned earlier also, these highlights you can always, if you find it difficult or you keep forgetting leaving the highlight, you can always do that exercise with your chalk. There is no hard and fast rule there. Yeah, so, and it looks equally good when added with chalk also. Right, so we are almost done now. Now paradox here and there, just a touch, not much. Wherever there are lines emerging, merging, it's a good idea to add some shade. Yeah, so carefully just add a touch of graphite. Yeah, the spaces are small. So now picking up my chalk pencil. So this is a real small one for precision. What a small one can do, the bigger ones cannot do. Right, so highlighting the center space. On the moons, a touch. Yeah, and then the stripes already have the highlight, so if you want you can re-emphasize it a little more. So just add some in the section where you have not added graphite, so it will add a little more to your tile. and just brush off the excess. Right, so take your time, add those, re-emphasize those highlights, add some extra chalk in the center section if you wish to. Yeah, and then pick up your different blending stub and then just pull off the excess. Blend it, soften it. Let it merge with the graphite. Smoothen it. We didn't add here. We didn't add here. Yeah, and I think we are done. We don't need to do anything. If you want, you can add some highlights on your paradox also. Not much required here. Yeah, that's about it. I think we are done. So I'm now going to close my tile here. A little shade on this paradox. I think we missed it. Yeah, that's about it. So that is our first tile with the fishy theme, and just initial your tile. It's so difficult to find a place here, so let me be the center of attraction. Right, so initial your tile, sign and date it. Right, and I'll see you again with another fish theme Zentangle tile. Right, till then, have a good time, stay safe, bye bye.